Okay, it's the first full week of school. I've got my big first grade lesson shirt on, so that means what you think it means. Typically, I'll wait until like the end of the week to do it, but what I like to do is like math, language, what I like to do for cultural is history, botany, zoology, geography, and then science. So how I like to do the first week, and I'll show you here in a second, because for my maps for math and language for first, second, and third grade and all the different things, I have those done. And I never did a cultural map, but I have it in my scope and sequence listed on all the cultural stuff, but it's not in an order. But then I realized when I was going through it this weekend, thinking, okay, what are the first few things I'm going to do? It was the same 4 things that I'm going to do that I've been doing the past, at least the last 4 years, because before it was different and I was at a different school or whatever. But so what I like to do is the history, the Big Bang, and people do try to do all the great lessons the first week. I'm not one of those people. I like to spread it out, but I can see why. I used to not be we got to save the Big Bang for like, the first or second week. Usually I do it the first week, but I'm just like, first full day of school, we're doing it today as our history. But we're also doing August calendar for like the cultural this morning, just so the kids can get like, okay, we have a 9 o'clock group because I'm going to do this in the afternoon because we always do a project with it. So the Big Bang, and then the first grade lesson, and then usually I'll do like zoology or botany on Tuesday, but I think I'm just going to switch it for tomorrow and do geography tomorrow, because then I like to introduce, I know people do like the Big Bang and then the solar system and then talk about the Earth and the continents, but the Earth and the continents, I guess I could have done the solar system already, but I just like to save space for a little bit later. And you see, that's why I never made a scope and sequence of cultural, because it can be done so many different ways. But I'm still, I might just put it in my hub, so then people have like or like not the hub, not the free resource hub, but the paid for map and scope and sequence. But then I'll do the first grade lesson, and then I'm going to do the continents, just because a lot of the students come from Montessori and like the early childhood and they know the continents. So it's a nice continent review, and then we'll like kind of go backwards, but like, because we talk about like the cooling of the Earth, so then it'll be like Earth, and then we talk about Earth the next day, and then I'll just say like Earth is a part of the solar system, so when we do the solar system, it's probably next week or the next week. And then I like to just do botany and zoology because like animals live on the planet, so I'm doing animals. And some people wait to do it after the timeline of life. That's why it's so peculiar, but I really like the timeline of life, and then it's kind of going backwards. But anyways, so then I just do the whole vertebrates and invertebrate things, and they draw a picture, or the older kids can also find a fact for each one since they've seen them previous years. So I just have these papers where they write a picture of all the vertebrates and invertebrates. That's actually in the free hub of resources below. And then on the last day, we do the science experiments of the force of cohesion, where all the little particles come together, which brings it back for the first great lesson, which is why I do it in that order. Because if I did all those things first and then that, it like all ties back into the first grade lesson. Okay, and then here's my first grade lesson set up. I'm going to cover this up with a black tablecloth. I used to have a galaxy tablecloth piece of fabric, and I don't know where it went. So we're just going to do this one. So yeah, I made a little video explaining how I did it, a short. So if you want to go find that, you can. But it's, I do it a very simple but exciting one. You spray the kids for the cooling of the Earth and everything. The balloon pop, lots of fun. So that's that. So this is my scope and sequence and maps. I don't have one for the maps for history, botany, zoology, geography, and science posted, but how I'm going to keep track of what we did is do this. We use transfer in classroom as well, but just for the sequence, because I want to see if it's the actual sequence that I do every year. Now, I did find my old one. This is kind of a sneak peek for you, but I did find my old one of all the histories, and I did this basically one year to see what I did every year, and I basically follow it every year, so like this is what I do. But there's history, not going to show you all of them because history goes on forever, and then botany, zoology, all the things. So then though, I did also print out, this is what you actually get for like cultural subjects in my, here it is. This is what you actually get in my scope and sequence for the cultural subjects. It's just all the cultural stuff that you can do, geography, blah, 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 all the way, you know, all the things. It's a couple pages thick. And then I'll get into like the first grade maps for each student. So this is all language. This is all like the maps for the students, and then they just get these individually presented or in grade level group, especially at the beginnings. If kids fall behind, or not fall behind, but if kids are like going at a slower pace than other kids, remember Montessori is just where they're at. So that's what we do. And usually I'll have these in their portfolio so they can see them, but I think I'm just going to have them in one place for my students this year. So that will be good. So the language is first and then math. So I'm going to look to see what I'm going to present to the first, second, and third graders today for math and language, which might be different for all of them. I know it starts at a certain place, but they might be further along in math and some of them. Yeah, but for the history and everything, I'm just going to keep track here. So like I said at the beginning of the video, first grade lesson, and then on Wednesday, we'll do zoology and invertebrates, and then we have the world map and continent map. Oops. And then for the science experience is the forces of cohesion. And so in my balloon pop, I use a little 3-hole punch papers that come from these things. So I also just use that for the forces of cohesion experiment. We also might do the gravity experiment, which I got actually from, that might be a fun one to do. I could do one in the morning and one in the afternoon. I found one when I was reading like the AMS magazine that gets sent. I forget which edition it was in. It was a year or two ago. And you get actually, because this is covered up, it's that, but you use the one, I guess you could use that one, but you use the one that actually goes around the bed because like that's a top sheet. I'm going to make my kids wonder all morning what's going on, so we will see. And then but the other one, but what you do for the other one is you take the sheet and then you put like a heavier ball and little marbles, and you see how all the things gravitate toward the middle where it's the heaviest, and it shows like the gravity, especially the pull in the universe, which is kind of why I want to do it now. That would be a fun one to also do, but I would save that one for like the afternoon because we can go into like the bigger area in my school and do it, and not in the classroom. So just fun things like that. So I just found this print. This is in my free Hubbard resources. So on Wednesday, the students will do vertebrates and invertebrates. Draw a picture of each one as like an overview, or write facts for like the 3rd and 2nd years so they know them. There's a lot of them. I have to make sure. Yep. So that'll be great. And then I'm also going to copy this, although they could do the whole world map as well for the continents on tomorrow. Okay, so the first 2 days I write a book to them, and The Magical Yet is a book about the word yet, like I don't know this yet. And it's funny because I already got to use it on, they're like, well, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, you don't know how to do that yet. So this is a cute book to read to them. And then also how this book was made is a very cute book. It like talks about sending drafts of writing back first. I'm like, you might have to do a lot of drafts, and I did that before writing about our summer, so that was really cute. And I also kind of want to write a book with them where you like send it in and then get it published this year. So this might be making a second appearance, but we have these 2 books so far. I'm a big proponent of getting books from the library because yes. Good morning. It's day 2 of the first full day of school. I really just wanted to show you my shirt. It has the continents on it. We're doing the continents today. I know you probably just saw the clip of me talking about the different continents. I was really thinking about it. It's like, should we do the solar system first or the continents? But I don't, since it's the coming, you know, it was the universe and then it's like the cooling Earth. I think it would be, I don't know, in my opinion, it's just like, okay, let's talk about the Earth and their continents and then go wider out, even though I know maybe it should be solar system and galaxy, but I don't know, I like this view of it where it's like we go to the Earth and they know that, and then it's like, okay, well, this Earth is a part of all these planets, and then these planets are part of the solar system and the galaxy and the universe and or the Milky Way galaxy, and then the universe and stuff, which I have those cards, which we'll do the following weeks. It's just, you know, I think I'm gonna do the continents today. Hello, we're going to be doing a science experiment today. It's the Thursday of the same week, so it'll be in the same video. But I've never done this before, but I just saw like a little reel of it. And you take a glass of water and put turmeric on the top, like shake some turmeric. And then you put, maybe that's not enough, I don't know. You put a light underneath. Oh yeah, and it glows. And the video said that it is due to a, let me see. Oh, a fluorescent property that when the light hits it, a bunch of energy gets stuck in the turmeric and then it releases quickly, and that's what makes it glow. That's really cool, because I guess, yeah, because you can't see it glow here, but with light, it glows. We are also going to do 2 more experiments. I was originally only going to do 1, which was the force of cohesion that I always do, and that's fine, but it doesn't take the kids very long. All you do is you take some pieces of paper. I just like using this, and you push them in different places and watch the paper move, and then due to the force of cohesion, they all clump together. It just takes a little while. You see they're moving all together. So there's that one, and then the other one I'm going to do is just the black pepper with the surface tension. I'm just going to put a bit of black pepper all on the water, and then take our soap, and I guess they can put it on their finger, but just drop in a soap. Hopefully this soap works. Yep, and it spreads, so that'll be fun. And then this afternoon we're going to do the gravity experiment in the hallway. I think I'm going to get the basketball to get a bigger ball, but you put a ball, all the kids hold onto the sheet from around, and then the ball obviously makes it go further to the ground, and then you just drop marbles. Each kid can drop a marble. Oops. And when you hold it, the gravity pulls it downward to whatever point it's at. So that's also dealing with how the planets work in space as well. I got that from the AMS magazine a few years ago, and it was a really nice experiment to explain gravity that the kids liked.